Hey there, everybody! Welcome to our evening edition of Big Brother 22 All Stars Live Feed Spoilers. The night of day 14 has been an exhausting one for anyone watching the live feeds.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of just back and forth and bashing and nonsense. It is weird.
It is the equivalent of basically, and I know Amster Watch has posted this gif a lot of just like, the road is like chasing each other, going around and around, and so it feels like there's a lot of activity but no actual action. It's like nothing is changing except watching us slowly lose our minds.
Yes.
We're going to talk all about, though, house meeting or no house meeting. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but we'll still talk through it and a couple other odds and ends. Before we get into anything more, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you do want to support us further, we've got those links in the description to our Patreon first live chat coming very soon, just the last Sunday of every month, and also our store. That link is there as well.
Okay, so let's talk about this house meeting.
Okay. All right, here we go.
All right, so Danny is in one corner trying to stop Nicole from doing this, which outside the house I think is a very good look for Danny to not try to, push her into it, because then she'll just kind of come off as like, being a mean girl and stuff like that. And it's not a great move for Nicole Anthony to do this, and we'll get into a debate about that later. But Tyler, on the other hand, is lighting the match. He's throwing it on her. He's kicking her into the fire. Like, he is trying to get her to do this house meeting.
Let me just say this for starters. There's a human part of me, and then there is the devil horns part of me. The devil horns part of me wants this house meeting to happen. I'm never going to lie to you guys. I'm never going to come on here and pretend as though I do not enjoy drama. I do enjoy drama, and I would appreciate it if Danny did this, and I appreciate it that Tyler did this. I'm not suggesting it may not be the best for his game in the end, but I like to think he's looking out for us. I think he's probably realizing how tired we all are of the same thing every single hour of the day.
Well, he's probably hoping that it's going to cause some sort of chaos in the house. And I mean, this can end up coming back to bite him in a way if it does turn out in the end that Nicole is like, well, I spoke to Tyler about it and he kicked me into the fire pit, so now I'm here, and then everyone is turning on Tyler. Things turn like that, and he's playing a really solid game right now, so I'm not really sure why he's playing around with these matches.
I just like to think that he's probably bored, like a lot of people are, with some of the same old conversations. And yeah, there is a universe where this comes back to bite Tyler if she goes through with it and she mentions him as a catalyst for it. But I think in Tyler's mind, maybe what he's hoping for here is that Nicole sinks her own game further, which means that David, who is a good ally of his, or at least a potential one, is for sure gonna stay. Maybe it paints a bigger target on Janelle and Kaser, and that ensures further that he hides under the radar. I'm so shocked that Tyler, a guy who almost won his season, and in the minds of a lot of people should have won his season, is so insulated at this point. He's doing so well. And I mean, I'm a Tyler fan strategically, but I did not think he would be in this good a spot so early.
I wasn't sure going into the season if he was going to be in a good spot or not. It kind of, for me, was like going to depend on who was in the house.
And he's been able to mitigate some things that didn't work for him, like Casey not being there, like Josh not being there. I think there was probably a pregame alliance there, but I don't want to get too caught up on the Tyler of everything, because it does all boil down to the question of, should Nicole actually have the house meeting? And let's take my own opinion about the entertainment value of it out the window. Like, for her game, should she actually do this?
Yeah, no. For her game, no. She shouldn't do this. And she has been spending so much time being, like, upset or mad or frustrated or whatever it is with Janelle and Kaser, that she has spent her time that she should be focusing on good campaigns, good conversation. There's lots of time for that, but she's focusing instead on, should I do this house meeting, and she's going to expose Janelle and have this giant fight. which she's going to lose. You can't go up against Janelle in a fight like this. Like, it's just going to get so ugly, and it's going to be not good for Nicole Anthony's game. I don't really understand what it is she thinks she's going to get out of it, because if she thinks she's going to call a house meeting to tell off Janelle's just going to sit there and take it. She has another thing coming.
Yeah, that would be a total rookie move. I don't think Janelle is ever going to take any accusation with just a smile and an, okay, that's nice. Like, she's going to tell you right off, and it's not going to go great. But, okay, I've got a lot of complicated opinions about this, but I will say this. If Nicole Anthony just says, you know what, I'm going to call a house meeting, and she just did it and got it over with, like, I don't know if I would be as upset about it, but this is my big thing. And this is a lot of players. This isn't just her. Should I call a house meeting? Should I not call a house meeting? 5 hours later, should I call a house meeting? This is all she's doing, is debating whether or not to have a house meeting.
Yeah, and that part of it I can see starting to really irritate people in the house. Especially since she has, she's had this conversation with Danny, it seems a couple of times now, where Danny has been like, no, don't do this. Like, she either just needs to have it and pull the Band-Aid off and let everything fall where it's going to fall, or not. But really what she needs to do is just go and talk to Janelle one-on-one. Tell her all your fears of why this is like this and why she's been talking behind her back, and just have the conversation. Not the whole house doesn't need to be involved in this. Nicole Anthony, if her real fear is that she's afraid that other people in the house are going to think that she's working with Janelle, she can have those conversations as well, because she needs to do more than just say, I keep me because I'm not working with Janelle. Okay, well, great. What else do you have?
There are so many other options she could have. In the house meeting, it's either just to get it over with or a last resort, but it's taking away now from everything else that she could do. Like, I'm going to throw a crazy possibility out there that what if, because Nicole Anthony at this point, she's heard from so many different people that there's so many people in the house against Janelle and Kaser at this point. If Nicole Anthony went to Janelle and Kaser and was like, you know what, guys, a lot of these people are against you. They don't want to work with you. They're all sort of telling this to me. Should we stage the house meeting? Like, if she was at least in on the plan, this is crazy, I know, but there are a lot of different ways that maybe they could try to find a way to spin something, as opposed to, at the very least, just sort of being stuck in one gear. And that is where Nicole Anthony has been. She's not focusing on anything other than talking about something that she may or may not ever do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If she was willing to work even a little bit with Janelle, they could sort of stage a house meeting, kind of get it out there, and put basically everybody on the spot at that point. But for whatever reason, we're not in the house. We don't know why or how Nicole is feeling with all of this. Just that for whatever reason, whether it's some of the stuff Janelle did, whether it's some of the stuff Kevin did, she is really paranoid about this, and she seems to be just really scared, I guess, of looking like a fool. That if Janelle is playing her, that she's going to get out of the house and be like, no, I wasn't going to be the person played as a fool. That's the thing. It's easy for us to all sit back here and be like, no, but she's not able to do that.
Here's another idea here. This is worth a chin scratch. Why not? And I don't say listen to your former castmate Cliff all that much, but Cliff, his biggest strength in Big Brother was making deals. And a lot of these people who saw this season, they know that Nicole Anthony's fairly loyal. So if Nicole Anthony went to Bailey or Davon or Ian, and I know, Bailey and Davon have said they're voting to keep David or whatever else, but is there a deal that you can at least present to them? Because Ian, for example, is he likes to think in terms of a lot of statistics, in terms of numbers and all of that. Like, can you at least present something specific to them that gives them an incentive that maybe they would at least consider more changing their minds? Bailey and Davon have done a little bit of that already anyway.
Yeah, and she does. She still has her safety suite +1. So there is still that out there that she can wheel and deal with. It's just, it's something that you said a little bit earlier, is she thinks she's at her last resort, is really what it feels like at this point with this house meeting. And she's not at her last resort. She still has other options, with the number one being campaign. Have these one-on-one conversations, not a whole house, just one-on-one, and not about a house meeting. You need to have them about why you're valuable to stay in the house and what you can offer somebody if they pick you. And that's what you need to do. I mean, yeah, the house meeting is entertaining or whatever, but come on, like, stay in the game.
Like, I think the house meeting is ultimately the last resort of all last resorts. I don't think, if you know you're going anyway, I'm never going to get mad at someone for throwing everything against the wall, but I don't think it's going to really help her. I don't actually think it's actually going to hurt Janelle and Kaser either, because it's like, where else in the house do they have to go? They're already at the bottom.
Yeah, they're already on their own. They pretty much know that they're already on their own. Like, it's... Unless Nicole Anthony is going to throw out some giant lie that has to be believable, then she's not really telling anybody anything they don't already know, because she has gone around and basically been like, I'm not working with them. I'm not working with them. See how much I'm not working with them? I'm telling you everything. That's how much I'm not working with them. So there just isn't a lot to gain. Except entertainment.
This is the exhausting thing about today, is that we're not getting the house meeting, so we're not getting that. Instead, we're getting all night long talk about the house meeting that probably won't happen. Yeah. And then just an endless loop of Janelle did this. Janelle's playing this game really, really hard. Nicole F. thinks that Janelle is like the spawn of the Joker and Green Goblin and insert every comic book supervillain here, and that she's somehow responsible for every terrible thing that has ever happened in the world. It's this constant Janelle-bashing. Janelle is not the devil. I promise you. It's gonna be okay, guys.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting how hard people are now going at Janelle behind her back. I mean, just earlier today, we thought that maybe there was going to be some sort of hope here. A little bit of hope with maybe Bailey or Davon. You know, we had Ian and Kaser having a little bit of a talk. That has gone completely sideways now. Like, I don't know what it is with this particular group of people, but the two of them, they are on the outs. They have to win next week.
Yeah, and they're not really good at times, I think, at either endearing themselves or being vulnerable or saying the right thing, and they don't always isolate themselves intentionally. Janelle's always had these problems, but yeah, Bailey and Davon, it's like, yeah, if Janelle and Kaser win HOH, they may have them, but they're probably not going to try to win HOH, and Ian is out there tonight telling Cody and Danny more about his conversation with Kaser that he has also already told to Nicole F. Why are you guys doing this to me?
And I don't know why Ian's actually even doing that to himself, because really he's not working with any of those people. He's working with Nicole F. So that made sense to me. It didn't feel like, oh, he's betraying Kaser by going to Nicole F. and saying, hey, man, the Kaser brought this thing to me that if we get to halfway through the game, you know, this is what he's brought. What do you think? Like, that makes sense, because then Nicole F. can also decide to be like, yeah, this is good for us. No, this isn't good for us. Cool. Now what are you doing, Ian? Like, now I don't know what you're doing. This doesn't make any game sense to me.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I even thought about was like, okay, is he just trying to tell these people before Nicole F does? It's just like, I don't know if she would do that, and if she does, I don't think it would really matter, because Ian would just confirm it if he was asked. Like, I don't know why he's so proactive with it.
And I don't know why he would be, like, he thinks that they are basically Janelle and Kaser, that's his number one, so I don't think he thinks Nicole was going to do that.
I need a good drink after all of this. It's like, this is the one thing I know. I need
drink and some Minecraft.
I need some Minecraft. I need a beverage or two, and I just need to somehow try to telepathically tell these people in this house that it is all going to be okay. If Janelle wins HOH, she's not gonna like strike lightning down on them from the heavens and like cackle sinisterly all night. It's gonna be all right.
I will tell you this, though, that Nicole's first podcast out of this I'm going to be listening to. I'm very curious to see how she's going to kind of deal with this. Be kind, everybody. It is not that easy to be in this house, and she doesn't know everything that's really going on. I am very curious to see how she's going to take what is being said, also what she didn't know was going on in the house with Janelle. I'm curious to see her take. I will be tuning in.
It's true. There's a big difference between people in the game and real life. We rail on things in the game, but, obviously I don't want Nicole to be attacked for ages on Twitter over this. So hopefully everything goes all right for her outside the house. But let us know, to have a house meeting or not have a house meeting? That is the question. Give us your answer. And if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and support us. Check those links to the store, to our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.